How are
How
you?
are you?
I was waiting for you, so now everybody's connecting. I was announcing that you're going to be here with us.
Yes.
And
Thank you for having me.
oh no, Kela, welcome, welcome. I was telling our viewers that our fertility talk today is going to be about cycling and hormones. But of course, before that, I will like you to introduce yourself. I know that some people know you, some people don't know. From the community. What is your approach? What do you do? So welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks. So I am Coach Kela Smith. I am the CEO and Program Director of the Hormone Puzzle Society. And this is a place for fertility, hormones, and the business of coaching. And I also am a fertility and hormones coach. So within this company, I help women get pregnant naturally. I coach around my hormone puzzle method and cycle syncing, which we're going to talk about today. And all of this started from my own personal struggle with fertility. It took us over 2 years to get pregnant. And so I saw a need that women were not being helped the way I wasn't helped. And so I started my company, and that was 3 years ago. And today we're going strong, helping people get pregnant. So yeah, it's been quite a journey.
Yes, that's beautiful what you say, because it's so true that, women that go through infertility like you or me, or, have struggle in conceiving, we don't know that there is emotional support. There is a lot of support out there. But before jumping into our subject, can you tell us a little bit about your journey?
Yeah, so my husband and I, we got married and we decided we wanted to start a family. I knew from the time I was a little girl, I wanted to start a family. So we're like, you have sex, you get pregnant. That's what I thought would happen. And that was not the case at all. So we tried for about 3 months. Nothing was happening. We were both healthy, and so we just couldn't figure out why. And so we went to our doctor, and she did some tests and was like, nothing is wrong. We don't know why you're not getting pregnant. Try some more. So we tried a few more months, still nothing. And that's when she put me on a fertility drug, Clomid, which is kind of like the first thing that they do. And we did it for 3 cycles. It didn't work. We went back. She said, okay, let's send you to a fertility clinic. And so I'm like, okay, I didn't know any different. She's my doctor. I thought that she was telling me the right advice. So we went to a fertility clinic, ran more tests, still nothing wrong. And then that's when they said, why don't we try IUI? And I didn't know anything about IUI at the time. And so I did some research, and I knew if that didn't work, the next step was going to be IVF. And nothing is wrong with those procedures. I just knew if I was healthy and nothing was medically wrong with me, like I should be able to get pregnant naturally without doing those procedures. And I knew they would be there. I'm like, let's take 6 months, and if it still doesn't happen, then I can go back to that. Well, that's what I did. I took 6 months. I got as healthy as I possibly could. I didn't just eat healthy. I ate for fertility. So I started researching, and I was like, okay, what foods do I need to be eating to put myself into like the best shape possible for fertility? What do I need to be doing with my lifestyle? I was exercising way too much. I was using toxic products. I was, all of these things that I didn't realize were affecting me, but they were. And so once I started learning all of this and implementing these changes, I was able to get pregnant. And so I got pregnant naturally.
That's incredible. It's so true what you say, because there is a lot of couples that have unknown infertility, means they do everything like you did and nothing is wrong. And then you realize that there is a lot of things that need to be changed bit by bit in our house. So that's awesome. That's amazing that you got pregnant naturally. And
once I did it once, I was able to do it again. So we have 2. We have a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old. So yeah,
that's amazing. And one of the things that is remarkable in fertility in general, especially in women, because we're going to talk today about that, is our menstrual cycles. When I started, I was very exact in my period, but I never paid attention that my periods were super heavy and painful, and I didn't know that could cause what I have. So you are that you focus a lot on that, cycling and hormones. So
I do.
Can you talk a little bit about cycling, how a woman can learn from that to handle her fertility path?
Yeah, so it's called cycle syncing, and it is getting in sync with your cycle. So you're eating certain foods and you're doing certain activities based on where you're at in your cycle. So you're either feeding your body to make the hormones that you need to do what you need it to do to boost your reproductive, to, trigger ovulation and do all of those things. But then you're also eating certain foods to detox the hormones. Once you've gone through your cycle, you're in your luteal phase.
Yes.
Instead of having your hormones recycle through your body and cause all the issues that you have with PMS, with sore breasts and cramping, you're eating to detox these hormones. And so it's eating, but it's also lifestyle. So it's exercising based on where your cycle is. It's doing certain, sun gazing and moon gazing, and doing all of these things that you need to do to either make hormones or detox hormones. And so that your body becomes this homeostasis. It's balanced, it's working properly, it's doing what it needs to do. And so it boosts your fertility naturally. It also helps with painful periods, PMS, bloating, cramping, acne, perimenopause, menopause. Like every hormonal issue can be fixed through cycle syncing. And I've seen it. It's incredible.
Yes, because our body is such a perfect machine that they know, when something is wrong. But that's our body. Then when we are walking that path, our mind don't know and don't have the knowledge that, as long as I am exact, so my periods are okay. So what could be wrong, And definitely what you said about eating and exercising according to the stage of where we are in our period is so important. I didn't have any knowledge about that. And, that's why, you get to a point that you say, oh, you have a problem. It's because of this. And you are like, oh my gosh. And there is another thing, that women, we grow up with kind of this thought that our period is dirty, like it's something to be ashamed. Is like, and then through the time also we learn that it's something beautiful because that is our fertility path.
I know. I so wish that we could go back to elementary school and teach girls that are starting their period, like what it means, what's happening with your body. Like it's not dirty. This is a natural process, and take away that stigma. And then, because I didn't learn a lot of this stuff until I was in my 20s and 30s. I'm like, if I had known this at 13, it would have been way different.
Absolutely. That's what I teach that to my daughter,
Oh, that's so wonderful.
Absolutely. And she's like, really? I'm like, it's not dirty. It's beautiful. It's something that is gonna, and as you say, eating habits, what we use in the house and all of that. So how, like, the hormone can sync with the cycling, it's all together. It goes hand by hand. You know better than I about that because that's your specialty, basically.
Yes. So the hormone puzzle, is that what you're speaking of? Yes. So the hormone puzzle is actually an acronym, and it's all the steps that I took myself through to get pregnant naturally, and it's what I teach my clients. And it's just an easy way to remember, am I focusing on all of these things in my life to boost my fertility naturally? So it's proper nutrition, proper whole food nutrition, understanding supplements. So you're actually supplementing with the right supplements, not just throwing a bunch of supplements down your body. It's Z's, zapping stress, love and encouragement, and exercise and environment. So if you're focusing on all of those steps throughout the day and throughout the week and the month, then again, your body's going to be doing what it's supposed to do naturally. You're going to be boosting your hormones, letting them work naturally. And all of this is going to boost your fertility.
Yes, this is incredible because, Kela, some people that even is going through IVF or IUI because there is no option, they should also kind of take some attention on this part because as let's see a problem like me, I have, my tubes blocked. But if we also start to sync all of this and practice it, we are preparing our body, and that helps us to increase that possibility of an outcome that is a positive pregnancy, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I work with people that are either doing it naturally or going through a assisted reproductive, IVF, IUI. It's just going to get you as fertile as possible, whether you're doing assisted or natural.
Yes. Now, you also mentioned that you have a program of fertility coaching. So you are a coach. I coach for fertility. You have your clients, but you also approach coaches like us, that want to learn more, to get certified, to have, a vision. So how that works, because I know we have a lot in our audience of fertility coaches that would like to know about your program.
Definitely. So this started because people kept coming to me, women, either people that were struggling with infertility or just had a real passion for it, and asking me, how did you get into this work? I want to do that. And so I'm like, I need to be teaching other women how to do what I do. And so this school was born. I took all the knowledge that I've, gained over the last 20 years. I've been in health and wellness for over 20 years. And so I took all that knowledge and I put it into a course. And so it's everything from how to work with a client. So I have like a 12-week, this is what I do with my clients, hormone puzzle methods, cycle syncing, but it's also all the like science of fertility, learning about your body, learning about the menstrual cycle, learning about, supplements and fertility conditions and all of that. But then it's also the business pieces, like how do I market myself online? How do I do social media? Like how do I do a website? What is a funnel? Like all of that, the legal pieces, like what do I need to do to set up my business legally? So it's all this knowledge that I've gained and learned and from starting my business. And I put that into a certification program for other women who want to start their own businesses, either starting brand new as a fertility coach, or you're already a fertility coach or an acupuncturist or a chiropractor or whatever, and you want to add this service to your existing services. So it works both ways.
Yes, I don't know how you made it, to be in the both lines, but it's incredible. You were talking also, because I had few questions when I announced the live about, the supplements. Women, when we are into this, either if we are trying to conceive naturally or if we are trying, going through a medical assistant process, we always are like, we don't even know. So we know that, for example, folic acid, it will be the first thing that we take, but you mentioned there is supplements that doesn't work for everybody, and there is supplements that work on that. So one of the questions I got yesterday, actually, in my Facebook group when I announced the live is how we can know, how we can know what is good for us. It depends on our fertility, issue. If I have PCOS, what I could, use, or what is that margin? How is that working?
So there's a couple of supplements that I recommend for pretty much everybody, but then it depends on what you're struggling with. So if you're struggling with PCOS or endometriosis or low eggs or whatever it is. So I'll talk about the ones that I recommend for everybody, but if for the specific situations, I would talk to either your doctor or a licensed practitioner, or like if I am your coach, I can talk to you about that, but I can't tell on a live, like, you have PCOS, take this.
Absolutely.
So
like a general view, I know.
Right. So, but ones that I recommend for pretty much everybody is a good whole food prenatal vitamin that has folate, not folic acid. So you want whole food because that's going to be bioavailable to your body. A lot of the vitamins and prenatal vitamins that you get, like at your grocery store, Target, Walmart, whatever, those are synthetic vitamins. They're made in a lab, and your body doesn't know what to do with it because it doesn't see it as food. It sees it as a chemical. So 90% of that vitamin, you're just peeing it right out. It's just very expensive pee is what I call it. So
that sounds funny, but it's true.
So you definitely look for whole food multivitamin, prenatal, and you want folate in it, not folic acid, because folic acid is the synthetic form of folate. And a lot of people that have that gene mutation, they can't process folic acid. So you want to be getting the folate. You can also get folate from food, so leafy greens. You can get it from nuts and seeds, but you want to make sure you're getting enough folate because that's a very important vitamin for overall hormone health, for pregnancy, it helps prevent neural tube defects, and once you do get pregnant, so it's super important. So whole food multivitamin. I also recommend a pre and probiotic if you're not eating enough fermented foods. So if your diet is pretty strong in fermented foods, then you might be okay with not doing a probiotic, but most people's aren't. So I say get a good pre and probiotic, something that's going to help you have a really strong gut microbiome. A lot of your fertility, your hormones, a lot of that starts in your gut. So if you have your gut microbiome's off, you don't have a great probiotic, then that's going to be an issue. And sometimes that can even prevent you from getting pregnant because your gut's off. So definitely a good pre and probiotic. I also recommend fish oil or having a diet high in fatty fish.
Yeah.
So maybe 2 times a week you're eating a fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, anchovy, sardines, herring, something like that that's a really good fatty fish. Or taking the fish oil that has the DHA and EFAs in it. So that's going to be really important for so many different hormonal issues and just fertility in general. So those are probably the 3 most common that everybody should take, and then talk to your doctor about, this is my specific situation, this is what I should take.
Okay, another question that I had yesterday, it's, I have probably 4 or 5 guys in my group of fertility.
Okay.
And when a couple, come to you as your clients, and they come, obviously the women is the one that always take like the harder part of the job, even if it is trying to conceive naturally or through a medical assistant. But when a couple comes to you and there is a male factor, you also approach that part?
I do. Yes. I work with a lot of couples, and I say, whether the male knows he has an issue or not, he should be kind of treating himself like he does, making sure he's eating properly, not stressing, he's at a healthy weight, he's not overexerting, like getting his testicles super hot. So yeah, I work with male and female. And it takes 2 to tango, and a third male, third female, third unknown for infertility issues. So definitely the male needs to be in prime health as well.
Yes, definitely, because male factor is something that is not too much talk about.
Yeah.
Now is starting to be, because a lot of couples, and men is kind of, I don't know if it is a machoistic thing or whatever it is.
Yeah.
When it comes to that, no, I'm good, it's all you, so it's so important. Now, Kela, I want to know, and of course our audience want to know, where they can look for you. What is, like, for example, if someone wants to get in touch with you to see if they, sync with your approach, and then they find out all interesting, how they can find you, what is your approach?
Yeah, so I do a free discovery call. And so you can go to my website and learn more about me. And that's at coachkela.com. And Kela is Kela. Or you can email me to schedule your discovery call. That would be info@coachkela.com. I'm also on Instagram, Kela_health coach. I'm on Facebook, Kela Health Coach. And I am on, I have a Facebook group that's all for infertility, hormones, weight loss surrounding fertility and hormones. And that is at Hormone Puzzle on Facebook.
Okay, so now our audience know where to find you. And also I want to let know that audience that you're going to be also in my Facebook group. We're going to do like an interview, and people, in Facebook groups, they can participate, with asking questions as well as here and commenting. It's something that it has an option of a chat party. And then I'm going to be also in your group.
Yes.
That's
and one other thing I forgot to mention too on my website. So I have 3 new free gifts. I have a fertility meal plan, I have a cycle syncing quick start guide, and I have just a holistic nutritional cookbook. So anybody can go there and get those for free. So please do. They're wonderful resources.
And you mentioned something. You have also a cooking book besides being.
Oh yeah.
You also have a cook before we,
Yes, that's also on my website. So I've written 2 books. One's a cookbook, all for fertility and hormones. It's 50 different recipes, just wonderful recipes. Some vegetarian, some have some healthy meats. They're all whole food nutrition, really delicious. So you can find that on my website. And then I also have a 450-page textbook called the Hormone Puzzle are you still there? Sorry. And that's also on my
I'm here.
My website. 150 different recipes, and it lays out my hormone puzzle method in great detail.
Yes, for everyone that really wants to look into this part of the healthier body and everything, and you are trying to conceive, and maybe I always recommend that. If you are looking to an option, like you see that your last hope is IVF, but you still have an unknown infertility problem, please reach to Kela, because she herself is a testimony of that. It could happen naturally when there is something that you don't know. Everything is okay. You change a little bit of some of your habits and you get there. So Kela, I really appreciate appreciate that you give me your time today, that you give some tips here and there. You know where to find her. You can DM her or DM me if you didn't took the notes of where she is. And you can reach out to her if you really want to conceive naturally and you still have unknown infertility. I honestly always suggest that because IVF is very costly. Very, it's a financial impact. And when you have still a chance to do it naturally, that is my best suggestion. So a last message for our audience.
Yes. So I just want to say thank you very much for having me here, and just to tell your audience that, you know, you can do this. You can get pregnant. It might take a little extra work, but you definitely can do it. So I want you all to have that mindset, like, I can get pregnant. That's another piece that we did not talk about was mindset, but it's so very important. So I'm going to send all of you that want to get pregnant baby dust and lots of love. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Kela. And thank you everyone for being here. We're going to program another live with her because this is not the end, just the beginning.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.